Hello guys, in this video we'll reset the position of the aeroplane and the cloud game objects once they move out of the camera's view. Now for resetting the position of the aeroplane and the cloud game objects, we will use the same technique which we had used for resetting the ship game object. So we'll create two walls, one for the aeroplane and one for the cloud game objects. Now you may notice that the aeroplane model which I am using right now is a bit different when compared to the aeroplane model which I had used previously. So the previous aeroplane model was a part of the stylized low poly city asset, which is a paid asset right now. So that's why I'm using this different aeroplane asset by the name of AV8 Harrier 2, and this asset is also free. So I'll right click on the aeroplane image target. I'll go inside 3D object and I'll select the cube game object. I'll reduce the X scale of this cube so that it appears like a wall. I'll place this wall over here. Next, I'll check the is trigger option of this cube, as this cube will be triggered by the plane game object. Next, I'll select this cube and I'll click on Ctrl D to duplicate this cube. I'll then move the duplicated cube on the right hand side, so the cloud game objects will collide with this cube. After this, we'll add colliders to the aeroplane and the cloud game objects. So I'll move this cube behind. Next, with the aeroplane model selected, I'll click on Add Component. And to the aeroplane model, I'll add the box collider. So the size of this box collider is way too big, so I'll reduce the size of it a little bit. So after covering the aeroplane model with the box collider, next I'll click on Add Component. And after this, I'll add a rigid body to the box collider. I'll then uncheck Use Gravity. After this, I'll select the cloud game object, and to the cloud game object, we'll now add another box collider. So with the cloud game object selected, I'll click on Add Component. I'll type Box Collider. So the box collider is attached to the cloud, but the size of this box collider is very small. So I'll increase the size of it. So first, I'll move this cube on the side so that we can scale the box collider properly. So I've now covered these 6 clouds with the box collider. After this, I'll again reposition this wall. Next, with the first cube selected, I'll rename it to Aeroplane Wall. After this, I'll click on the tag drop down of the Aeroplane Wall cube. I'll click on Add Tag, and to this cube, I'll give a tag of Aeroplane Wall, as the aeroplane will be colliding with this cube. Next, I'll hit Save. After this, I'll select the aeroplane wall and I'll attach the aeroplane wall tag to this. Next, I'll select this cube 1 and I'll give it a name of Cloud Wall. I'll then click on the tag drop down, Add Tag, and I'll give this a tag of Cloud Wall, as the clouds will collide with this cube. I'll hit Save. Next, I'll select Cloud Wall. I'll click on the untag drop down and I'll select the cloud wall again. So after making these changes, next I'll open the scripts folder and I'll attach the reset position script to the aeroplane model, and I'll also attach it to the cloud model, as both these game objects will collide with their respective walls. Now before making changes inside the reset position script, I'll move the aeroplane model on top of the cloud game objects. And this is because we have attached colliders to the aeroplane and the cloud game objects. So if the aeroplane and the cloud game objects collide with each other, then the direction will change and they'll not hit the respective walls. So please make sure that either the aeroplane is flying above the clouds or the clouds are flying above the aeroplane. So with that being said, I'll click on Ctrl Z to move the aeroplane and the clouds to the respective position. Next, as I was saying, I'll open the reset position script, and inside the on trigger enter function, I'll create an else if condition. So I'll write down else if collide.gameObject.compare tag. Now inside these double quotes, I'll write down the tag name of the aeroplane wall. I'll open and close curly brackets, and inside these curly brackets, I'll copy this transform.local position equal to original position code. Below this, I'll write down another else if condition. I'll copy this collide.gameObject.compare tag code. I'll paste it over here, and instead of aeroplane wall, I'll now write down cloud wall. After this, inside these curly brackets, I'll again copy this code. So I'm getting an error over here on line number 25, that is unexpected symbol cloud wall. So let me check the code once. Okay, so by mistake I've deleted this round bracket, so that's why I was getting this error. So I'll click on Ctrl S, I'll save the script. Next, I'll wait for some time, and you can see that the error is gone. So as I was saying, since we have attached this reset position script to the aeroplane model and the cloud game object, so when the aeroplane model triggers this aeroplane wall, this if condition will be called, which will check whether the game object with which the aeroplane is colliding has a tag of aeroplane wall or not. And if the tag is aeroplane wall, then the aeroplane will reset to its original position. Similarly, when the cloud game object collides with the cloud wall, this last if condition will be called. It will check whether the game object with which the clouds are colliding has a tag of cloud wall or not. And if the tag is cloud wall, then the cloud will also reset to its original position. So I've finished with the code. Next, I'll click on the play button. So the aeroplane and the clouds are moving towards the respective walls, and when they hit the walls, they'll move back to their original position. So when the aeroplane hit the aeroplane wall, it moved back to its original position, but the clouds have moved past through the cloud wall, so there is something which I have not done properly. So I'll come out of play mode. Next, I'll open the reset position script. I'll first check whether the tag is named correctly or not. So the tag name over here is cloud wall, and the tag which I have given over here is also cloud wall, so the tag name is correct. After this, if I select the cloud wall, then I've checked the is trigger option of the cloud wall. Next, if I select the cloud game object, then to the cloud game object I've attached the box collider, but to this cloud game object I've not attached a rigid body, and because the rigid body is not attached to this cloud game object, this cloud game object is not able to trigger this cloud wall. So with the cloud game object selected, I'll click on add component, and I'll add the rigid body component to it. I'll uncheck use gravity, and this time if I click on the play button, then the aeroplane and the clouds are moving to the respective walls, and when the aeroplane hit the aeroplane wall, it moved back to its original position. But as soon as the clouds hit the cloud wall, the clouds also move back to their original position. So our reset program is working properly. So finally, we'll make the aeroplane and the cloud wall transparent by attaching the transparent material to both these game objects. So I'll open data files, materials. I'll first attach the transparent material to the aeroplane wall. So the aeroplane wall has become transparent, and I'll then attach the transparent material to the cloud wall. So the cloud wall has also become transparent. After this, I'll click on Ctrl S, I'll save the scene, and this time if I click on the play button, then both the walls have become transparent, but as soon as the aeroplane and the cloud game object hit the aeroplane and the cloud wall, they will reset to their original position. So guys, that's it from this video, and I'll see you in the next video.